my little brother locked himself in the bathroom and wouldn't come out, and through the door he whispered, "I'm never trusting you again." I froze on the other side, my heart slamming. For 10 minutes later, my mother came storming down the hall holding Grandpa's old flip phone, her face white. "Explain this," she said, and turned the screen toward me. "Sent at 2 a.m. We're threatening to stop visiting him unless he changed his will to leave everything to me and cut my cousins out completely." Grandpa had called my mother in tears that morning, saying he didn't recognize the daughter who raped her. "It's your number," my mother said, "your name and his contacts." For my Aunt Carol, Grandpa's other daughter, had already called twice, screaming that she always knew I was her. My cousins stopped replying to my texts within the hour. By dinner, nobody at the table would look at me except Eli, who watched me like I was a stranger wearing his. For the next few days were worse than anything I'd lived through. My parents took my phone and read every message going back a year, searching for proof I'd been planning this. They found nothing, but somehow that made it worse, like I'd simply been careful. My mother sat across from me with red eyes and asked quietly, "Did I raise someone capable of this?" Someone else sent that message from your number at 2 a.m. while you were home, and that was the part that broke me. I believed myself completely, and I still couldn't explain it. My father called a family meeting at Grandpa's house that Saturday. Aunt Carol brought printouts of the text, highlighted in yellow, and laid them on the coffee table like she was. Her Grandpa sat in his recliner, not meeting my eyes. Eli sat pressed against my mother's side, and every time I glanced at him he looked away fast, like he'd been caught doing something. Grandpa Delgado had come along at my father's request to make sense of the technology, since none of us understood how a message could come from my number while my phone never left my nightstand. He asked to see Grandpa's flip phone and my phone side by side. He asked for the exact timestamp. Then he did something none of us had thought to do. He checked whether the message had come through the cellular network at all, or through the home Wi-Fi assistant Grandpa used for texting, the one my dad had set up 2 years ago. Delgado went quiet for a long moment, scrolling. It came from the tablet linked to the someone typed it directly into the messaging app on the home network, using the saved contact name. They needed access to this tablet in this house last night. Nobody in this house except one person who'd been staying over for a week because his own family was between apartments. He was already crying before anyone said his name, the kind of crying that isn't fear. It's broken between sobs. How he'd heard Grandpa say months ago that I'd get a bigger. How he'd been furious for weeks. How he thought if I looked bad, things would even out. How he never. "You knew," my mother whispered to him, "and you let her sit through all of this." Aunt Carol wouldn't. She said a 12-year-old couldn't have written something that manipulative alone, that someone must have helped him. And looked straight at me when she said it. Grandpa reached for my hand but didn't speak. My father just staring at the printouts on the table, like he still didn't know which daughter or which child he was supposed to believe. On the drive home, nobody talked. Eli sat in the back seat, staring at her, or she'd just run out of other people to blame.